Yesterday, the Department of Justice released its largest batch yet of documents related to the convicted sex offender, the late Jeffrey Epstein. And more than 30,000 documents were made public, adding to a series of releases that began late last week. Many of these files are heavily redacted with names, identities, and details blacked out, including the people the FBI appears to have considered possible co-conspirators in Epstein's trafficking network. What has drawn immediate attention is the increased number of references to President Donald Trump in this latest batch. Most mentions appear in old media reports and background material, but one internal email written by a federal prosecutor in New York in January of 2020 stands out. In that email, the prosecutor states that newly obtained flight records show Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet more times than previously known. According to that email, Trump was listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate, was also present on at least 4 of those flights. President Trump was also listed as traveling at different times with Marla Maples, his wife at the time, as well as his children, Tiffany and Eric. On one flight in 1993, the only listed passengers were Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and on another, the flight included Epstein, Trump, and a third passenger, a 20-year-old girl whose name has been redacted. This directly contradicts President Trump's earlier public statements in which he said he never flew on Epstein's plane.
This is what the Democrats do to their Republican opponent, who is leading them by a lot in the polls. This is AI, and it is very dangerous for our country. Also, I was never on Epstein's plane or at his stupid island.
The documents also include unverified allegations. One filing accuses Trump of raping a woman decades ago, a claim that has not been proven and remains disputed. Another document has sparked shock and outrage as its complaint submitted to the FBI by a woman who alleges she was trafficked by Epstein and her uncle as a pregnant 13-year-old girl in 1984. She claims her newborn child was murdered and disposed of, alleging the baby's body was dumped into Lake Michigan from a yacht. In that complaint, Donald Trump is listed as being present at the scene. President Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing related to Epstein, and recently he said these releases are harming the reputation of high-profile figures.
It's an interesting question because a lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin the reputation of somebody. So a lot of people are very angry that this continues. A lot of Republicans are angry because of the fact that it's just used to deflect against a tremendous success.
The Justice Department said the files include untrue and sensationalist claims that were submitted to the FBI shortly before the 2020 election. Now, it's also critical to underline the point being named in Epstein-related documents doesn't by itself indicate guilt or wrongdoing.
Some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already.
And as more files come out, the picture grows larger, but still not necessarily clear. What these documents do show is how far Epstein's shadow still reaches and how unresolved questions about the past continue to collide with power, politics, and public trust. And as the paper trail grows thicker, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. This story is far, far from over.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all 3 just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakarjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Fiskali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, Click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.